Hey, everybody. I can't get over that we got this intro. It's pretty cool. Hey, a lot of stuff going on in the world. Dr. John Price is kind of almost with us. He sent me an urgent subspace message that said codename Aunt Laura was in the vicinity, and he either had shields up or were welcoming Ambassador Laura in. I don't know what happened, but he might be a little late, he said. And as always, we leave the starflight light on for him. Hey, everybody. There's lots of Star Trek stuff going on. No, there isn't. Did you see the big news that I could uncover getting ready for today? Or actually, who am I kidding? I do this all the time. Just live and breathe Star Trek, which is kind of embarrassing if I don't have John to talk to. But I can admit it to you guys. I think it's cool. Anyway, the big news is Mike McMahan, the big brains behind Lower Decks, announced that season 5 was going to be great. And it had twists and turns in store for the audience that was waiting for it. And there was going to be an elaboration of the 10Z character. So I was talking about this with Walker. We just immediately started doing the press release stuff from Bull Durham to each other, except in Star Trek language. Like, he just wants, I just want to be here for the ball club. Season 5 is going to be great. I just want to help season 5. It was like, come on. It was the most nothing thing ever. And Screen Rant or whoever did did an entire article about it. I don't know. Just makes me laugh. The second thing was today, somebody felt the need to corner Will Wheaton at the Saturn Awards. I don't know if you guys know what the Saturn Awards is. It's some kind of sci-fi thing. I don't know. It's like the Hugos, or they give out the Hugos. I don't know. I don't keep track of awards because awards are nonsense. Everybody knows who did the best work that year in whatever field they're talking about. The best welder, best achievements, and fucking New York style pizza. I don't know. Awards. People just need to be self-congratulated. Hey, there's Chris. And there's Matt. God bless you guys. I was starting. John's a little late. I was starting to talk to myself in the ether. I don't know if you guys have seen. I was kind of in the middle of giving Will Wheaton a hard time. I don't know. Will Wheaton. Anyway, he was saying that, he liked doing, somebody cornered him at the Saturn Awards, and he liked doing his cameo in Lower Decks. And they wrote a whole article about that. Sometimes it's hard to get back on a wave once you've fallen off the board, but every once in a while you can get back in. So, all right, hey, here's Chuck Gilbert, too. This is great. I have somehow lost power to my mouse, so I kind of don't know if I'm even on here. Look, chords. Remember those? Anyway, so yeah, well, that's pretty much the Star Trek news I had for the day, which was pretty sad. Oh, here we go. Okay. Matt says he's been here from the start. Okay. I feel... Here's the thing, guys. Can I just say for a second, we've been having connection issues here over at the old AIT Action headquarters. I don't know. We have to rename this. This little corner isn't I'm like, this is Steve Jobs' garage now compared to what's going on over the rest of the area. I'm actually an adjunct to Walker Young's Front Yard Film Studios. No shit. It's actually Front Yard Entertainment, but this is Front Yard Films, one of their studio areas where they shoot stuff. I don't know if you guys saw the award-winning Dopamine, chosen as the winner of the first Lowell Film Festival award. Speaking of awards being bullshit and self-congratulatory, the cool thing about that is Walker actually legit won that. The accolades of his peers, and that one sort of you can't say all awards are, because certainly recognitions of achievement and merit are awesome. And that's an award of a kind, but I mean the kind of like, Best kiss thing that the Nickelodeon things do. I mean, really. Anyway, so yeah, no, this is front yard actually has this is all front yard, Chuck. Inside it, there's my little area. I forget what he calls it, but it's something dad related. That's funny. I think it's dad lore, and John Price would like that because it's actually folklore dad. But then there's the chill zone where he has his own light. So frankly, I think that's the most official name of this area. But yeah, it's all front yard because we use it for stuff. Termite Terrace too. That's pretty funny. Anyway, now that Matt Shivers is here, here's a cool thing to talk about. You guys know I'm in love with Urban Dictionary, and John Price back in the day, or we were on this political thrash place together called Thunderdome, challenged me. He was getting really the Urban Dictionary came up, and he said he was trying to put something on there, and it kept getting rejected. And I was like, "That's the easiest goddamn thing in the world. Just make up some nonsense and give it really good definitions." And he's like, "No, they can tell." I'm like, "No, you don't use like somebody's name. You just anyway." So I did it. Of course, I won that bet, and then I did a couple more because I thought it was fun. And then I hope poor John didn't think I was rubbing his nose in it, but I just love doing it. I think it's cool. Like just immortalizing some dumb thing that we say and getting it past their censors. It's fun. And so to commemorate the best ones, I get the coffee mugs. And I think Classic Brendo was the first one. Then bikinis and spacesuits. And I forget after that. But anyway, I did some dumb thing on Thanksgiving, and Mad Shivers just kind of got a big kick out of it. And I ended up the end of the story is like, Daddy's got shit on his mind. And he just thought that was hilarious. And he got that on Urban Dictionary just to be, I don't know, so I could buy that coffee mug because anyway, I was drinking out of that coffee mug this morning today, and so I thought, hey, good old Matt Shivers, and I pulled it down out of the shelf, and then here you are on the thing on the door court about Star Trek. That's awesome. Not too much Star Trek stuff going on. We just recently watched Dumb Money. I can't recommend that movie enough. Oh my god, is it great! You guys remember 2 years ago the GameStop thing where the guy they artificially inflated the stuff or whatever, stopped trading, is a whole controversy. Of course, because it was on the news, right? The brilliance of these Netflix guys. They got Paul Dano, the guy who played the Riddler, and I always try to say something funny about him, but I can't. Like Batfleck, like Patman doesn't really read because there are a million Pats. You don't even get that it's Pattinson. But anyway, the guy who played the Riddler in that Batman one, the Team Beat Batman, plays this guy, and it's just crazy interesting. And they got me in the first 10 minutes because his wife is wearing a Stonehill College sweatshirt, which is this New England college quaintly nestled in North Adams, Massachusetts. The people who go there don't even know it's there. And so seeing that in a theatrical thing was hilarious because my sister went there. So I immediately did a screen grab. I was 10 minutes into the movie and I did a screen grab, which is old man for. I took my camera out of my pocket and pointed it at my computer and went, yeah, all right, that's about right. That's a screen grab. No, a little self-deprecating humor. Well, you guys, what else should we talk about today? The stuff I've watched, right? I watched Rebel Moon. I love that. You guys know the thing about this, without being able to rap with somebody to bring up cool stuff, is I'll just talk about stuff I already know what I think about it. Somebody throw me a thing, or I'm going to start talking about how I know you guys. Chris Sagasag is awesome. I love how I know him. I don't know how I know him. Like Facebook came up, and it was like one day it was just, hey, you know this guy, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then it would suggest a second guy, and it was like friends with these three people, you know, and Chris Sagasag, and I'm like, which is why I say it, pronounce his name correctly. It's Seguisig. And I mean no disrespect. It's just more of like a nickname now, man. I can't pronounce that correctly. It's Seguisilog. Anyway, so yeah, so I friended him, and yeah, we're pals, and it's awesome. I have one regret. Me and Mark and Steve were at one of the Star Wars. It wasn't Force Awakens. Might have been the second one, and we were there at the same time as Chris and his family, and I saw them right at the end, and I see Chris. I'm like, it's Chris. And then Mark and Steve keep going, and I'm like, this is our friend Chris from like Facebook, and it was crazy. I feel badly that didn't work out correctly, but now we're pals. Anyway, I send him Christmas cards. Matt Shivers, I think you were friends with Kevin Kamarley, right? Yeah, but you're my friend now, man. Anybody who meets me in real life is a friend of mine. So Matt, we met at San Diego one year and got proof of life pictures for our common Ghostbusters loving buddy. Similar thing with Chuck. Chuck, should I tell a cool stuff about Chuck? Chuck's a Pittsburgh guy. Oh wait, he's gonna tell me. Oh, he's too. What is he watching? Oh, Bodyguard. That's cool. I'm very interested. If you want to talk about stuff that's coming out, that's cool. That's a good tip. Thank you, Chuck. I'm looking for stuff like that because Monsieur Spade, I'm gonna try to catch, and I'm dying to start Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but I still firmly believe that I can get my family to watch it with me. And so yeah, that's a good way to take it. Stuff that you're watching now. Ooh, favorite trailer from the Super Bowl. Man, the movie trailers, I was so excited about the Dunkin' Donuts thing with Ben Affleck because, I spent so much time in New England. I totally get it. I think that's amazing. But the Wolverine Deadpool trailer one, I mean, the best trailer is what that meme of Kelsey yelling at his coach, where it's like, you said the Marvel Universe was over, and now there's a Deadpool movie with Wolverine, and you said the Marvels was bad, it was kind of good, and I kind of think my girlfriend is Dazzler. It's like there's so much just going on in pop culture. It's really hard to pick it out. I'll tell you the one that kind of offended me is the remake of Twisters, which, okay, God bless, but here, wait for why it offended me, and you may agree. I'm down with remaking stuff. Make it cool, make it different, put your own spin on it. That's great. Except somebody in that cast has to be related to Paxton or Helen Hunt, or it means nothing. And if it's the dude who's possibly their son, even, you people are committing a crime, because that lead actor, I don't care if he's somebody the kids know, he has all the charisma of a pillow, and he looks like somebody that they wouldn't cast in Fire Country. Like, it's so anyway, yeah, so let's all get started on Twisters, because I may need some. Here, look, this is unplanned. Literally right next to me is my Dorothy. Like, come on, man. And I made out of Fresca because here's a super deep cut for you all. When I was a kid, we got a lot of our movie stuff from Merv Griffin. And when did Aliens come out? 82, 83, something like that. So this is back in the day. And Paul Reiser was doing press, and they talked to him about being on the sequel. Everybody was aware that, there was an anticipated one. And he said he enjoyed being on the set so much that he wouldn't leave. And he did this quick little the actor bit of business about, hey, does anybody need anything? I'm going to Crafty. I'll get. Does anybody need a Fresca? And that just went into my little kid brain as like the comedy thing. So I've said that my whole life from then until now. Like, if I'm just being an asshole, like if somebody does need something, getting up during the Super Bowl, you may need a Fresca. It's just an opportunity for them to tell me what they really want. And anyway, it was Paul Reiser. So Fresca from my thing is from Paul Reiser saying that to being in Mad About You with Helen Hunt, who is also in Twister. That's how that. when I make something, it has to have a backstory like that, or I won't finish it. I'll be like, oh, this is really interesting, and then I'll get some shiny thing will make. Oh, I'd need a rubber stunt cast of that gun that Mandalorian has in his ankle. You know, Sagasai Aliens 1986. I completely believe you. Hangman from Top Gun Maverick. Oh, is that who that actor is? Really? That dude. See, that makes it worse because I was thinking I just saw this trailer once, so I'm literally going on my feelings and not any sort of understanding because there were 6 teenage boys playing full contact Monopoly in front of the TV we were trying to watch the Super Bowl on while this was happening. But the cool thing was everybody would shut up for the ads, which was hilarious. So I did see it, but there were a lot of outside distractions. So that trailer could be fucking Citizen Kane for all I know. It kind of hit me, you know, I only have reptile brain reactions of it. And the only thing in a tone like a 90-year-old guy with, tinnitus in my brain is just whoever this fucking guy is, he's no Bill Paxton. And that is the only hurdle you have to jump over if you're remaking Twister, and they missed. Hit everybody across the knees. Great. I'll watch it when it's on HBO when nothing else is on. The end. Sorry, you lose. Close it up. Good night. Going to bed by myself. No pillowcase. That was one for Walker Young, who's probably streaming from the lacrosse team field right now. Yes, I agree with Sarah. No, nobody asked for Twisters. I mean, I get it. I get it that somebody pitched it. I get it. It's like Twisters, except there's 2 of them. Okay, I get it. That's the nature of sequel. But if there isn't a giant bedrock heart of a reason why this movie exists in the narrative, it's gonna be a big whiff, like doing Total Recall with one of the Collins, and what was the other one? The RoboCop with Ed from For All Mankind. Perfectly serviceable films. I remember being entertained at the time when I watched them. RoboCop a little more than the other one. I liked the twist they gave on the RoboCop expectations in that better than Total Recall was just kind of like, are you guys kidding me? You put Kate Beckinsale and Jessica Biel in the same movie and wasted it on this. It's like shades of Adidas. You old guys know what I'm saying. You put Salma Hayek and Penelope Cruz in the same in a Western, and no. Anyway, I kind of feel like that guy in a house babbling him to himself, which is why I brought up Dumb Money. I really enjoyed that movie, not because of the timeliness of the quickness of the narrative, the quality of the presentation of the movie. It has no business being as good as it is for as quickly as they had to do that. And for something that literally happened 2 years ago, it was fantastic watching that thing because it was immediately apparent to the 4 quadrants of our house. I count myself as a grandfather, but parent and child and 1849, all the quadrants that we make up. We have a well-rounded household in terms of demographics, and all of us went, wow, this is a period piece, isn't it? Like, they're not just kind of like doping like 2020 or 2021. All the music choices on the soundtrack are like very specific to about 18 months, and it's like everything in the background was just like, oh no, that is the show that was on Fox at that time that everybody was watching. It was crazy how I felt like I was watching like The Untouchables or something, except it was just 2021. Man, that was great. That was a cool aspect of that show. So if you do watch it, like kind of be alert to that and see if you don't agree, because that's kind of cool. 10th anniversary of the RoboCop remake. Anyway, that was the other thing I liked about Dumb Money is that it was kind of this. Like Walker Knight, the beginning of the film is the guy just doing his podcast, talking in his basement, and his wife goes, "Oh," and he takes care of the baby and everything. And Walker and I just looked at each other because Mimi's experience of talking on camera is literally like marketing presentations and Zoom call meetings and stuff, which I guess technically this is. But we're not doing business, are we, guys? We're not. I don't know what's happening in the comments section. I can't read everything, but it's here because I like to rap with people about stuff that we're both interested in. It's such a simple thing. Anyway, let's see. The weather nerd in me is furious about them showing people taking refuge from a tornado under the overpass. Like, yes, I get that, but like, there's so much. I think it's baked into the. Okay, wait a second. Everybody showed up. I think it's really baked into people's movie experiences because basically at the beginning of film they started adapting Wizard of Oz and trying to put tornadoes on film. And so the movie experience is by nature on a smaller scale than the epic swath of nature, right? So then the danger seems to become more intimate and more manageable, and maybe hiding under an underpass sounds like a good idea for the shot, right? And then that starts to become lore in people's head, and this is where we need John. But I'm sure he would disagree with such a general statement if I use lore in a layman's way and not a PhD award candidate guy who got it. What happens after you've been? I guess you're just a PhD after it's been awarded. You are no longer a PhD candidate. You are an actual PhD. Wow, that was a rough one. Anyway, and then look at the outrage about Man of Steel, right? When All-American Kevin Costner goes, "Hey, don't save me, man. This is what we talked about. I told you don't save the kids. And you save the kids, and don't save me." They do with that powerhouse acting. I think that's great. Uh-oh. Your audio cut out or my audio cut out? Ooh, okay. Yikes. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know. I'm not distracted in any way now. I learned something cool the other day about people. I found I bought a used book, early copy of John Carter, and this was in it. And I'm like, yeah, so that's some cool ass yen. Let's see how much that is worth. And something happens, and the government demonetizes it, and it's cool now as a collector's piece. It's not actual money, and I thought that was neat. I never really had an experience with that other people's money before, I guess. I mean, I've been to Canada, got to New Zealand. England's got its own money. I figured that one out pretty fast. So I understand the concept of money, but I never really went, everybody can just put a timeout and go, no, that's not our money anymore. And this other box of stuff we printed, that's our money. This other stuff, that's not money. And I'm sorry about that, but this stuff is money now. And you can turn this other stuff in if you want, but it's like 6 of those for one of these. That's just how it goes. I don't have any experience with that because I'm American. Oh no, if this was a comedy bit, boy, would I go into a thing making fun of my friends down in Georgia. Anyway, yeah, sounds like crypto. Exactly. All right. Without John, it looks like I have a half an hour worth of stuff. I've been listening to comedy like a crazy man, and oh god, I forgot her name. It's something like, it's not. Oh no, I'm not even gonna try. Go see Kelsey Cook. It's not Natalie Morales, because that's the actress that I like from Abby, and she was in whatever Javi's thing there. That was a Viper Comics. When I start babbling, man, I need. You know what I need? A drink of fresh LaCroix key lime. This is not a paid endorsement of any kind. It's just sometimes you need to take a swig of water, apparently. Yeah, that's refreshing. The Middleman, yes, that's what I was trying to talk. Viper Comics, The Middleman. The reason I know that is because Javi pitched it to us, and I was like, yeah. I didn't see it, and I felt badly about that because he loved Demo, and he thought that the company who published Demo might like The Middleman. And had I known that it was going to be a 13-episode show that starred Natalie Morales, I would have needed some guarantees of that, but I probably would have published that just so I could meet her. Man, she's awesome. She was just in something that we watched. I forget. I don't know. It's cool when she shows up in a project. It's really pretty cool. It's like, I'm not sure. Usually, I'll have some poetic thing to say about, like, Julie Strain. I was like, she laughed like a butterfly's. I mean, a dandelion's pods going off into the world or something. It was poetic when I wrote it. Give me a break. I'm a writer, not a talker. What's this? Live read of the finale. Was awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, I have the set of DVDs. It's a great show. I can imagine a live read would be cool. What Alligator Neptune 4 Max in the near future? Still like in your yeah. We ripped the end of man. Thanks for bringing that up, because it's the only thing I actually really care about. Deadlines now. Of course, everybody has in their time. Your kid has to be at school on time. You have to pick up somebody you have to be at the dentist's office. I get that. But for leisure stuff, you want to be able to do it on your own time because it's a leisure, right? You don't want to stress yourself out with your hobbies. And so Walker and I, he's painting Warhammer miniatures now. He's really into painting miniatures, and he's on the Warhammer guys now. He's developed some crazy fine painting skills, and my little arthritic hands are very jealous. But we did this thing for each other. We're talking about all the various analog ways to finish different pieces, and we gave us this challenge that we're going to do Novacore helmets, and he's going to use his cool digital smoothie chemical doodad future way of doing things, and I'm gonna to his print, and I'm gonna do my print in more of an analog. Because this makes me so sad. Sorry, guys. It says the connection is unstable. What? 231 or something. 2905. At the 2905, we'll tell Mimi, hey, everybody, we switched to Sonic, and our router is literally over my shoulder. We could not be closer. So for some reason, this computer alone, I have another separate computer over here, is fine. This one has an unstable connection. So that tells us that fire alarm is going on. Some stuff happened here. Still liking your Pro? Yes, I love it. Anyway, I got gunmetal Pla, gold Pla, and shiny ruby quartz red Pla. So I'm just gonna sand mine and clear coat it and call it a day. So I hope that he actually doesn't watch this now, because that's my plan. And now he's gonna try to he's going to try to. That's not in the Constitution. You sure can run as a criminal. Anyway, yes, we love it. And so we're waiting. But the reason we haven't done that yet is because we're waiting on. There's a silicone tip at the outside of something. I don't know. It ripped when we were cleaning it. That had like a spoogage somewhere, and some hot plastic got down and sat in some key components, so we had to clean that out gingerly and in the confines of doing that. Somebody, and I'm not going to say his name, but it's if you were to spell it, you would only need 2 letters of the 4-letter name, and it's not Walker or Larry because those are longer words. Somebody ripped it. That's so funny. It's like, did you save the patient's life? Yes, but he's going to have a nasty scar. It's like, yeah, but did you save the patient's life? I feel like that's where we're at right now, right? So thank you, Mimi. You saved it. So Chris, tell us what's happening over at the Hall of Justice over there. Apparently, the fire alarm was going off, and now it stopped. So here's the time. If you guys missed the beginning, here John was going to be coming in a little late because Laura was over, and they were going to be talking about, whatever they're talking about over at their house. And he's like, I'll just jump in. So I guess it's not Laura we have to blame, depriving us of our John. Anyway, okay, what else TV? Oh, Masters of the Air. Oh, I know. Sag's watching it. Are you guys, Chuck, are you watching it? That seems like your kind of show. I hope you're all up to date because I'm about to say something. We're so sad about the last episode. I didn't like seeing Buck go. That was great because, oh my God, did they do that in such a Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg sort of way? Just, he's Captain America Corn Pone from Wisconsin. I just have beer, ginger beer for me. I'm just gonna have the sugary soda waters. I'm a clean living guy, and boy, I'm gonna do all this stuff just right. And then, come on, man, you launch with 3 engines. You have to have the fucking mechanic hop out. It was just like, I can't even watch the rest of this episode. Anyway, one thing was pretty fun when that one started, and they went to the guy who's in the French Resistance is saving him, and they're asking him all the questions about Babe Ruth, the Brooklyn Dodgers, all that stuff, and it's a complete World War II trope. And the guy, they go, please write this down, please put and please sign today's date, and he does it in the European way. I instantly turn to Wagner, I'm like, oh, that guy's dead. And he's like, what? I'm like, that's the spy. He's like, what? I'm like, just watch. And of course it is, but because they don't even really explain it because it's so obvious, right? It's a giant World War II trope. Here he is, John. See, that tells us all we need to know, John. We started talking about Masters of the Air, and then you appear. Like, yeah, fuck that Star Trek bullshit. Finally, they're talking about something good.
Hey, man, let's do it. Let's do it.
Well, you're up to date. I just said I didn't like seeing Buck.
Finally. Who? I can't tell the characters apart.
The Buck is.
I'm not up to date, by the way. I haven't seen.
Never mind. We can't talk about it anymore.
I haven't seen the last 2 episodes, I think.
All right.
One episode, 2 episodes. The last one I saw was the fake New Yorker guy crashed his plane.
Oh, yeah.
Into like the countryside.
That's the guy from the Eternals. That's how I remember.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
But anyway,
the actor's name's Barry Keogh. He's in Salt Mine or whatever that is.
There you go.
He's a great actor.
Damn it, Barry.
I don't remember his name either. Masters of the Trek.
So yeah, that would be a cool show. Masters of the Trek. Do like a Dominion War show,
I wouldn't mind seeing World War II in space. I really wouldn't. Yeah. They keep teasing me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
pretty awesome.
Star Trek.
How's everybody doing?
Did you see Will Wheaton is very happy with his cameo on Lower Decks, and Mike McMahan said season 5 is full of spectacular twists and turns, and the audience is going to be on the edge of their seat. That's literally the two big stories off of Trek movie and Trek Now and whoever they pay attention to.
It's not a good time.
I get that there's like an in between thing, but as a former, they always bring you back in, right? But I had something to say about PR back in the day. This is when you fucking
certified PR instructor.
You go fucking insane now because it's dead, right? Because nothing is going on. Your actors are trying to do stuff, right? Yeah, that's when you make everybody do their press, right? Don't do the press when the show comes out. Everybody's gonna be really happy that Fresh TV is coming out. You're not gonna have to sell it when Fresh TV comes out. You have to sell it now. And I'm just a fucking idiot in my house. Why is this not happening? Like I would do this across every fucking thing. Everybody's just kind of like, my boss is just trying to make more done with less stuff, and AI is really coming, and I'm so bummed out. And it's like, dude, no, you are the PR guy for escapist entertainment. Like, if you don't put the bunny suit on, man, nobody's gonna put the bunny suit on. So I was on fire about that this morning with my marketing people. You know, if you have menopause, you get a bunch of girls around, you go, hey, this menopause sucks, right? Like the old marketing guys go, hey, fuck those guys. I used to cut Amberlith with my fucking hangnail because we couldn't afford fucking X-Acto blades. Yeah, these fucking kids. So that's what we were on fire about today. Why, the trailers at the Super Bowl. Oh, that's like you were doing that anyway. Do some PR.
No, that's a really good point because when these new seasons come around and everything, they definitely blow their load with marketing. And then 2 weeks later, it's like, oh, there's no news. It's just the show is still on. So that's a good point.
That's kind of marketing 101, man. If nobody's saying anything, that's when you start dancing, right? So but the traditional corporate marketing thing is to do that, like event-based marketing, right? And so when we had San Diego, that's the big thing in comics, right? And so when I was publishing, everybody kept all their news to announce San Diego, right? To be part of that churn. Look, Marvel did this and my little company did that. And it's like, no, dude, Marvel and DC and whatever the third big thing is that you can't predict because it's the big thing. That's all anybody talks about. Your fucking noise got lost, right? So I would do all my singing and dancing a week before and sometimes 2. And I just owned Comics Press. But it was like this guy does an interview, this guy does like a special, like, oh my God. And then everyone runs it because nothing is going on. Like, how do you not do that if you're spending $10 million an episode? Like, there are people who know how to get your bang.
I'm not going to pretend to understand anything that these people do with regard to Star Trek. I mean, I'm just not. There's nothing. Everything they do makes no sense to me. But so the big kerfuffle. I don't know if we talked about this last week. Is Star Trek Online did a Wolf 359 related episode. We might have talked about this already.
You brought it up, but we didn't really go into it because I have no idea what you're talking about.
So the big kerfuffle is there's like this fan fiction on Twitter, and it's a well done fan fiction about like the real story behind Wolf 359 or whatever, and they flesh it all out, and they have a whole list of all the ships that were there and everything. And Star Trek Online included those. They work together, and they included those ships in their Wolf 359 thing. So now everyone online is flipping out. Everyone on Twitter is flipping out. They're like, no, this is just a fan fiction. This isn't real Star Trek, And it's like, you guys, that's not how this works. Like,
well, now it is though,
Right.
right? Because they used it. So
Right.
aren't those the people that cry about like it's not canon if Aquaman doesn't have blonde hair, Like, oh, but if it's on screen or somebody uses it, like how much more official can you get than Star Trek Online?
Yeah, I mean it's owned by Star Trek.
I did
Like
see yeah, and it's not like they just told the game guys, no, just do what you want. Like
no,
that's
they have to get
approved at every
approval. Yeah.
step of the way. Every
Yeah,
step of the
they
way.
work with the actors, they work with
Yeah.
the producers. I mean, it's yeah. I just think
Fanboy.
it's funny because I really appreciate I like the way they did it, like these fanfic guys. And and it's just funny. I don't know. I got nothing. Star Trek's boring.
Well, that's what I got on fire
Right
about.
now, it's boring right now.
It
Yes.
doesn't have to be, right? That's why I was on fire. It's just like I don't it's funny. It's because I have this weird push me pull you relationship with my entertainment because
Yeah.
I know how it works, man. So
Mhm.
and I've been lucky enough that like if I really cared to talk about something I loved, you can just do it with archetypes and it scratches the same itch for me,
Yeah.
right? Like I wrote a thing, I just put a character in one of my things that was Nick Fury. Okay. Hey, draw him like Nick, how you would draw Nick Fury, Charlie. And nobody can sue us because, but
Right.
like, that's just Charlie's interpretation of me saying, hey, use this Marvel archetype. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
he knows he's drawn Nick Fury, and
Right.
I know I'm writing Nick Fury, and they can't take that away from us, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's how we got the Orville. You know what I mean?
It's,
So, like,
it's
what's the
true.
fucking difference if these online guys who are working with the current stewards of the property, like,
It's
I don't
true.
know how you get more official. It's like, it's not really an after party because they're doing it over here, but it's more like, you know, if you like this kind of stuff, this is the table where we're serving that at the Star Trek party, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So how can you go, no, fuck those guys? That's the People's Front of Judea. We're the Judean People's Front. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Star
funny.
Trek.
I just think
Leaders
it's
and
funny.
being morons.
I just think it's funny how like people take it so. I'm gonna phrase this wrong, of course. I don't mean take it seriously, but they want like an encyclopedic version. They want like no, I want the
Yeah.
list of ships that were there instead of like I want the story. You
Yeah.
know,
I
and a
agree
lot of
100%.
fanfic, to its credit, a lot of the fan fiction out there forever is telling stories. It's people trying to tell stories. And the fans, the consumer type fans, all they want is like, oh no, give me the timeline and give me the encyclopedia version. It's just interesting. I don't know. Fans are weird.
You see that in the discussions, right? About sometimes about plot points
Oh,
where
absolutely.
somebody will go, well, they didn't explain that, and
Yeah.
I scratch my head like a fourth grader just shit her pants.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's like that. You know why? Because that is meaningless. That has nothing to
Right.
do with the story. I know
You're
because
telling a story.
I
Yeah.
watched the whole thing before I started typing. And it's but
Yeah.
there's a reflex that is going on now, and man, I don't know what that is.
Speaking
Tell
of stories,
me everything and make it
um,
free.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, do we think that the offspring of the Kelsey Swift dynasty will find themselves running the Federation one day?
No, because I think that Star Trek at best is an alternate timeline, right?
Okay,
For us right this second.
right.
And that to see that ultimate timeline, we would have had to have Olivia Munn and Chris Pine stay together and have a child, because that's how you get Star Trek.
Okay, I can live with that. I can live with that. Yeah.
Are you Sarah? No. So
Um,
who I have, that's just my ultimate celebrity couple, and me and Nancy Sen to this day we will cry about that. That's how we
yeah,
know this is the darkest timeline, because true love doesn't exist for
that
those
would be
two.
awesome. What kind of character would you put Olivia Munn as in Star Trek? Like,
Oh,
because she's actually like funny and smart.
Yeah, she's got to be, the complete and utter. Like, honestly, if you, it's so hard not to go Carol Marcus, right? Like,
Right.
but
But
but Alice Eve was perfect. So
yeah.
you know, and I stood next to her, and there's photographic proof of that. So I'm never going against that.
I
But
think
you want somebody like that, right? Like sassy and fuck you, Kirk, and like, okay, but come over here for a smooch. Like
yeah,
that's the kind of Star Trek thing that you need. And she was like that in G4, man. So
yeah,
like now she's an adult that knows how to do it, and she's just
yeah,
not doing it because she's got the equipment. Now she
yeah.
knows how to fucking drive that fast car. Dude, that would be a character. This
I
is
think I think
I want to
she would
write
be
something like that.
I think she would be a perfect
Hmm.
that stupid Lon character, Lon Noonien Singh. That's her backstory. And then she becomes a captain. And then she's like jockeying with Kirk for like prestige as captains.
Yeah, see, yeah. See, that's because you want to know all the numbers of all the
Yes,
NCC guys. The what you really want,
I am what I hate. Yeah.
what what you really want is you have full on Kirk on your side. Yes. But the opposite of Kirk is
Mm,
a girl who is smart using all that science logic and she's swaying those hips and
it's
it's
true.
just fucking walking kryptonite.
It's
That's what
true.
you want for the
It's true.
narrative.
It's true.
Because it's like that now it's a fair fight, right? Because Captain Kirk is basically space Batman, but
Well,
well, yeah, kind of right.
okay. Yeah.
Space Superman. I don't know.
I mean, he's space
He's
Jesus to me,
he's
but
his own thing. It's like it's like hey, like a
Captain Kirk.
baker is like hey, you're the James Bond of bagels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Sagasag, some kind of Cyrano Jones character, like some kind of
Okay.
like somebody that's takes the see, but that's the same thing because they have to go thematically against Kirk. Yeah, Kirk's the like I don't play by the rules guy, but she's off the charts of not playing. She's like rules, like throwing pennies in the air, going by the
What if
old.
we're going the wrong direction and she's this super uptight rules like
Oh,
Commodore,
yeah,
like
that works
who
too.
outranks Kirk,
Yeah.
and he can't do anything about it.
Oh, that's
The
better.
hottest, the sexiest
Yeah.
woman in the world is the one you have to salute in the morning.
See, at least I'm self-aware enough to go. No, that was the story I wanted to see. John's versions. That's the commercial one. That's the one you want for the whole audience. That was my bad. Sorry. We were wearing bikinis and spacesuits in my version.
They are in mine too. Just takes a
Yeah.
little
No,
while.
it's good, but she's just outranks him. That's better. That's thematically better. He can't do anything about it.
USS
Oh my
Swift,
god.
like that.
How would they not done that yet?
What?
That's a fucking sassy wench that's Kirk's equal that outranks him.
Yeah,
Oh my
because they're
god,
stupid and bad at telling
he
stories.
would go nuts.
Yeah,
Oh man, let's
yeah, it would.
see that.
Yeah, Kirk is nothing if not
And she
always
never
in charge.
overtly says it,
Hmm.
right? It's understood because that's their area of expertise. Oh my
Right.
god.
She
Dude,
do.
like that doesn't you could do that. You could do that, and that's how we bring back the last ship. Fuck Star Trek. It's over.
Done. Let's do it.
That's how we bring back last ship.
Last ship is top
It,
5 Star Treks. I'm
I
not going to go
agree.
higher than like 4 or 5, but it's definitely top 5 Star Treks.
I agree 100%. That
Yeah.
that was the best Star Trek. That was like a really good time for TV for adventure shows.
Yes,
Because
it was.
I would say that all the time. Like, what we need is Star Trek Last Ship or Star Trek Black Sails.
Hmm.
Star Trek Invisible Man or
Yeah,
whatever point I was trying to make. But there was yeah, it was a really good time for adventure shows.
it was. It was. And
And
now
now
we can have Star Trek Taylor Swift.
we have The Floor with Rob Lowe. Tell me the science officer and you were watching that. The,
No.
the Floor. Oh, you would love it.
What is the floor?
It's Rob Lowe commands lit floor. It's kind of like you've ever seen Human Chess? It's
Okay.
like a version of Human Trivial Pursuit, except
Okay.
each person represents an area of expertise. and
Okay.
you go up at the same two people, like say, you like Captain Janeway, and I'll take Captain Kirk, right? And then they'll throw up something, and there'll be like a cup of coffee, and I'll go Kirk, and like that's mine. And they throw up a cup of coffee, but it's in a Rock to Janeway thing. You'd be like Janeway, and you get that point, right? It's like that, and whoever wins, like now you have adopted their area of expertise. So
Okay.
I have to fucking answer Janeway questions now. So it's
Oh,
like you won, but you kind of don't want to, because now the people that will come at you, you have a thing that you have defeated. So you defeated them because you knew your stuff. Anyway,
hmm
it's about it's about
Interesting.
half done. Our entire family's bananas for it.
And it's
And
Rob
they
Lowe,
edited. Well, he's the hologram
the
announcer
host.
narrator guy. He's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, I don't even want to glorify what he's doing by calling it a host. He's
Okay.
like the handsome guy who stands there, smiles, and
Yeah.
says names. You know,
Nice.
but I mean, he's cool. He's likable enough, But it's like it's not about that. It's all about like it's a cool. It's like if you had the reason I said you and the science officer would enjoy it, because it's like if you had a reality show that was a game show at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and they have little steps where whoever wins the most little pieces of territory, which they call it the worst thing in the world. Like, I just call them, subjects or tiles or blocks or fucking pieces of territory.
Yes. Pieces of territory. It slides right off the tongue.
It stops the game dead because you have to say 15 syllable words. Like, why not? Anyway,
Nice.
it's very entertaining, but it's like you have things to accomplish, and that the person who wins that episode gets 20 grand, and the last
Right.
person the last, so there's ways to do it. And then
Okay.
there's cool strategy things, like some guys were like, we're gonna win the 20 grand, but I'm gonna go split it. You have 10 and I'll have 10. Like they're like, can we do that? Nobody's done that. Let's do it. So fun stuff like that you'll enjoy.
Interesting.
Rob Lowe.
We should have a Star Trek Mandalorian.
Don't they kind of?
I don't know. I don't watch Star Trek.
I know. Right. No, I just said it like that because you know what the other big news was? IDW Comics, who does licensed Star Trek comics.
Yeah.
And they all, which is great, but they all treat it like that's stuff that we need to keep track of.
I know, it drives me nuts.
What happens in the comics really has bearing on like some movie that I'm sorry.
That's the JJ shit right there. That started with the JJ
comics,
people.
Yeah. I've written comics. You, sir, are no comics.
Yikes.
No, they're fine, but they're no TV. It should be the opposite.
Right? Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from them, but then their big thing was like, hey, it's Black History Month, so we're gonna do Black History comics. I'm like, wow, that's your initiative, huh? I don't get what they're doing over there with the Star Trek.
Neither do they. So it helps.
But the big head scratcher, John, like, I know I'm on a completely different energy level than you, but we can't agree with the same level of outrage that this isn't a fucking trick. Star Trek is not like this impossible mystery to solve.
No.
It's very, very easy.
It's literally formulaic.
Star Trek. You can do such good Star Trek that you can paint plywood walls light blue and make grown men weep at the fucking shit your people are saying.
Yeah.
I don't fucking get it. Like, it's not a trick. Yeah.
I mean, try anyone who ever says they want to reinvent Star Trek. I mean, there's your first problem. Don't.
Right.
Just don't.
Right.
Tell a new story in this Star Trek paradigm that has worked for literally 50 years.
It's the
I'm watching TNG episodes when the missus goes and does missus stuff, and I'm just like, man, these episodes are from like 1987 and they're fucking awesome. Like, I've seen this episode 100 times, and every time Leah Brahms says we need to sour the milk, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna sour that fucking milk, Darmok, creep.
Darmok's the one that gets me. Like, it's just so full of. I remember the first time it was aired and where I was watching it, what I was doing, my good college buddies, Rob Lavender and Steve Goldberg. I remember exactly where we were. Which one?
Rob Lavender.
Robert. Yeah,
cool name.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. The whole Lavender family, actually. I'm very fond of him. Not so much Kevin. I never really spent time with him.
Yeah, fuck him.
he went to Alabama, so you might
roll tide.
You might get along with him. Anyway, that's a really weird jump in the conversation. Anyway, Darmok does that to me because there's like quotable lines, but there's weird little things, little funny fucking things that our family has. I've said so much that our family has picked it up and used it in context, not knowing that that's a Star Trek quote. And it makes me really happy because like it's a thing that we say to each other now that I secretly know came from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like I always say when I'm like frustrated and out of like ideas, I always say, "What do you want me to do? Throw rocks at them?" Like, you remember the bit from Darmok when Riker says that? Like, I say that all the time, and now like Mimi and Walker just say it like Walker says "state of the badass art," and the first time he saw aliens, he just looked at me and went, "That's where that comes from." So, but there's a lot of that just from Darmok.
I mean, and not every episode is great.
Can you quote anything from Discovery though?
No,
right?
No. Well, I like science.
Any quote you have is because of how stupid it is.
Yeah.
Right.
No. Yeah,
how
and it's like
Star Trek it is.
The Inglorious Treksperts, the Mark Altman podcast, they were doing their top Star Trek quotes or whatever for their holiday special or whatever, and they were having the same discussion where they're like, there's nothing memorable about what they're creating. They're just writing generic lines and then adding special effects, So yeah, there you go. Matt Shivers, sleep data. I mean, everyone knows what that means.
When Mark Altman is saying, "Yeah, just hang it up, man," like that's not good.
Yeah, no
kidding. I mean, he's as big a cheerleader as Star Trek is going to get. Who means it, right? He's like that. It was funny a couple of episodes ago when I was like, "You and me are the last two honest Star Trek fans." I actually like had a pause when I was typing that. I was like, "I'll apologize to Mark if he says something about it," because he's a very honest Star Trek fan.
He is
the stuff he says. You can agree with him or not, but it's correct.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they get really into like the production side. So like they know all the directors and all the writers and all the assistants and all the they get really deep on that stuff, which I don't because that's not me.
Well, Mark's a producer,
it's interesting to hear about.
Mark's a producer, so he's
right.
Those are the people he works with. So
right, yeah, and he writes those books, those behind the scenes books and everything. So I just think it's interesting that it's not like it's just me and you screaming at clouds. It's everyone with a brain is like, yeah, this is different and it's not good. So
right, yeah.
Like I said, I mean, I'm watching episodes from 1987, and it's still like hitting me, like dude, emotionally, like reacting to all of these things, and fucking it's all good. Yeah, man, the USS Swift, it's a good idea.
I didn't see that. We were having so much fun talking. That was a while ago. That's funny. He was going to lacrosse practice. That's hilarious. I said that at the beginning. Hey man, like I'm telling you, you don't watch the first part of me just babbling. It's not good.
Okay.
I really, I'm the kind of person that I really need somebody to say something. And then no, it's cool. And Matt, I feel like I was here. Those guys that were talking. That's me, isn't it? Is that me? That's me.
Well, I'm sorry I was late.
They would say something and I would riff, but
and a family
No,
obligation.
no, of course. There's nothing to apologize for. It was just more.
We'll
It
see.
was more that I have some talent, and just riffing by myself is not one of them. I
Fair
feel
enough.
like I get kind of self-conscious. I'm like, how does Rachel Maddow do this every night? And it's
Every
like,
day.
while I'm actually trying to
She's
say
a
something,
professional.
but I haven't that thought.
Yeah.
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 Not me. All right,
All right,
well,
guys.
you know what? I'm
Well,
gonna
I hate
try
to chat and run, but I got a hard deadline here, as per usual. And I miss you guys.
All right, man. Thanks for your time.
Bye, everyone.
All right, man. Thank you.
Bye. Okay.